What is up, good people? My name is Callum Morrison and this is Just One Plugin, the show where I take a song and try and recreate the guitar tone from that song using exactly that, just one plugin. Today, it's going to be a nice and heavy one. We're going to look at the tone of Joe Duplantier from Gojira on the song Toxic Garbage Island. Okay, so one of the issues with doing a two guitar band, especially a band like Gojira, where they're playing these very technical riffs that are very tight and incredibly similar sometimes. There's they don't really separate the guitars too much in terms of what they're doing at certain points. It's very hard to tell when one guitarist's tone ends and another guitarist's tone begins. So with that being said, this may turn out to be a bit more of a kind of general Gojira type tone, but the main reason that Joe's name is in the title instead of Christian's is because Joe's gear is what I researched. It's as simple as that. So with that being said, let's talk about his gear. Amp-wise, he's got a very long-standing relationship with the EVH brand, using the 5153s. I've seen in an interview that he did with EVH that he prefers to use the 5153 Stealth as his live amp, but in the studio he prefers the 5150 EL34. Prior to that, he's used PV 5150 block letter heads like the original one, and I think he may have used 6505s at one point as well. Guitar wise, he's had a long-standing relationship with the Fender family of brands. Initially, he was using a Jackson guitar. Jackson had custom built some soloist guitars for him with Seymour Duncan JB pickup in the bridge. Not entirely sure what the neck pickup was. But now, of course, he uses the Charvel Joe Duplantier signature. In terms of pedals, he has an endorsement from KHDK. He uses their Ghoul Screamer pedal and their Scuzz box, I think it's called. I might put a note in here if I got that wrong. But that pedal doesn't appear on this song. So now that we've spoken about all the gear that he used, let's take a look at the preset and see how we're going to go about recreating this. Okay, so for this tone I'm going to be using my Jackson DK2 guitar. It's got Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge, kind of similar to the way that Joe had Jackson spec out those soloists that he was using around the time he recorded this song. The plugin I'm using is the Amped Roots plugin from ML Sound Labs. If you're watching me, you almost definitely know who Fluff is, and if you somehow have found me on YouTube without finding Fluff, first of all, well done you. Second of all, go and watch his videos, they're great. This plugin, there's a free version which comes with one amp model, and then there's the paid version which gives you an extra 3. As it is, in this version, we're actually using the free one, which is a model of the 5150 EL34, which Joe said he prefers to use in the studio. So let's go through it. We'll take a look at the pedal board first. First thing we hit is obviously the noise gate. If you don't already record guitar with a noise gate, you should be doing it. You're not likely to feed back if you're in your home studio, but here's an example of why it's great and why it's essential on this one, in fact. The DK2 that I'm using for this video, it has some really microphonic pickups in there. It's a pretty old guitar, maybe 12 or 13 years old at this stage. I've had it for quite a while, and the pickups get microphonic over time, unfortunately. It's something that can happen. Not all the time, not on all pickups, but certainly on these pickups it's happened. And my computer, it's not the loudest computer in the world. It's definitely not the quietest either though. And sometimes when I'm recording guitar, if I don't have that noise gate on, I can hear the fans from my computer down here coming through the amp. So you want to, like, you know, if you don't already record with the noise gate, definitely make sure you're using one. Then we move to the drive all the way down, level all the way up, tone to taste. We've all seen this a million times before. Here I've got the tone at about 3 o'clock. That's a bit higher than I personally would use it, but it's not about what I would personally do. It's about what Joe Duplantier would do, you know? So, let's take a look at the actual amp section now. So let's take a look first of all, like, so input, output and volume are all set at 12 o'clock. Input and output affect how much level is going into the amp and how much level is coming out the amp. Volume is actually a way to control the kind of preamp and power amp like tubes breakup. You know, like artificially, it's emulating that. But that's basically what that knob there is for. That being said, I managed to get the tone pretty dead on, I think anyway, without having to touch a single one of these. So I think that's pretty cool. The gain's pretty high. The gain can be higher, but it doesn't need to be for Gojira. If anything, I think that I may have gone a little overboard on this tone with the gain. Maybe. But I like the sound, so I'm going to leave it as it is. For the EQ, we got the lows and mids. They're both kind of about 10, 11 o'clock-ish. The mids are like, you know, just like a touch higher. The highs are sat there at about 2 o'clock. It's quite a bright tone actually, despite the fact that the band tunes down quite low and, like, you know, Joe's sitting there being all angry. It's like, it's quite a nice bright tone. And the presence kind of affects how, like, the high end interacts with the whole sound of the amp. That's pretty high as well. So for the cab IR, I have 3 options within this plugin. I can have it off, I can have it on, or I can import my own. I kind of felt like importing my own went against the spirit of what this challenge is about. This challenge is about if I can use one plugin and the resources that are within that plugin, you know? And I felt like, even though within the plugin it gives me the option to pull something from outside, I kind of feel like that's just breaking the rules a little bit. So I went with the built-in cab IR. I don't think I would have got any closer, to be honest, maybe I would have done. I didn't try though, you know, because I was kind of like, no, that's not what this is about. That's not what the challenge is. So maybe I would have got closer, but I don't feel like, long story short, I don't feel like anything is lost from it. So anyway, now let's check out the tone. If you watched any of my videos like this before, you'll kind of know the format by now. I like to hear a little bit of the song, a little bit of the guitar that I've recorded in isolation, and then a little bit of the guitar on top of the song to give the whole tone some context. I'll cycle around it a couple of times over a few different sections of the song just to give you a feel for it and let you hear the difference. At the end, it doesn't really matter what I think, it's kind of up to you. Do you think I got close? Do you think no? Who knows? Anyway, let's check out the recording and you can make up your own mind. conclusion, I think this is the best job I've done so far with one of these. I really, really think this is very close to the tone of the original song. It helped having a direct model of an amp that Joe has said is his favourite amp to use in the studio. That definitely really helped get me closer. I just think, you know, the Gojira sound is essentially just a great tight metal tone. And so long as you can recreate that, you're good to go, you know? So not the most difficult tone to recreate. That said, despite the fact that, like I say, it's a very typical metal tone, by itself, when you hear it within the mix, it still distinctively sounds like Gojira. And this is one of the things that I love about Gojira as a band, is that while the sound of the tone that they're using through the amps isn't particularly unique, I think it's a great way, it's a great platform for them to show their uniqueness in their playing. They're not trying to get this like really unique, weird, cool metal sound, because they know that the riffs that they're playing are very distinctive to them. You hear a Gojira riff, you straight away know it's Gojira, you know, and that's one of the strengths of the band. Anyway, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have an idea for a guitarist I should cover in the future, please let me know down in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of these videos, because I'm going to keep cranking them out. And that's all really. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.